what happens, and you might relate to some of this or even most of this, but what typically happens a lot with people with ASD level 1, both male and female, but we'll stick with the male gender, is he grew up and couldn't quite fit in like his friends did with one another, felt a little awkward, the I'm on the wrong planet syndrome. And in some severe cases, he may have been rejected by his peers at some level, ostracized from the group, and even in some even worse cases, might have been teased, bullied. And so he realizes, I don't know what to say or do to fit in. And so he's tired of trying and tired of being on the receiving end of so much disapproval. He may have been viewed as a problem child by parents, as a problem student by teachers, and just always felt I'm just awkward and odd, and at some level people just don't like me, and I don't really want people to know who I truly am. That's where the masking comes in. And plus, I don't really feel that comfortable around people, and so I'm going to gravitate towards tasks and objects and non-social things. And at some level, he has the thought, I keep making these social blunders, saying the wrong thing at the wrong time, not saying the right thing at the right time, not being able to say and do the things that get the acceptance that I want. And I'm always making these mistakes, and I seem to be incapable of learning from these mistakes. Therefore, I am a mistake. I am a mistake. So there's toxic guilt, which is I'm odd and I can't quite fit in, and I keep making these mistakes. That's toxic guilt. I never get it right. I'm always messing up. Doesn't matter what I say or do, it's always wrong. That's toxic guilt. False guilt would be another term to use, false guilt, because it's not true. You're not always making mistakes. You're probably beating up on yourself, making more, and you think you're making more mistakes than you are. Toxic guilt leads to toxic shame, which is because I make all of these mistakes consistently and don't learn from them, therefore I am a mistake. That's toxic shame. And so with toxic shame, there needs to be a cover-up. I cannot let people know how defective and flawed I am. You're not defective or flawed. This is a thinking error on your part. But that's the thought. I have this toxic shame. I feel defective or flawed, and I got to hide it. I can't let anybody know I have this, that I'm defective and flawed. And so what's the hiding involved? Being perfectionistic, staying away from people as much as possible, being a super achiever. You said you're a university professor. Being perfectionistic. All of that stuff is shame cover-up. So the answer to the question is this, finally, and that is, you're not a mistake. You're not defective. You're not flawed. You're exactly who God created you to be. You don't need to try to be neurotypical. Nobody, including God himself, wants you to be neurotypical. And look at all the people on the autism spectrum that have created and invented and pursued, the philosophers, university professors, teachers, engineers, computer scientists. Where would we be, Lincoln, if we did not have, for example, Bill Gates, who made the programmable computer we're all on right now, and the list would be long and deep, inventors, artists, musicians. The world, if we could rewind time and get all the autistic people on their own planet and we didn't have any, where would we be? We might not even have near the technology we have today. No doubt we would not have it, because the autistic brain can hyper-focus for long periods of time. The autistic brain can systematize, can think in pictures, and can look at a scramble of chaotic things and make sense out of it. So the strengths associated with autism are far, far greater than the weaknesses. And the person with ASD level 1 will have some strengths that a neurotypical brain would not have. So it's not just, oh, well, you have a lot of strengths. It's, you have a lot of strengths that typical people don't have. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the big contributor to low self-esteem is because you have been on the receiving end of prejudice and bias. You have been taught that autism is some kind of a bad thing and that you're defective and flawed. Society kind of promotes that at an unconscious level, especially in this case, the NT wives. Especially. That was a bold statement. He never has empathy for me. Yeah, well, upon further investigation from me, I find that your empathy level is as low as his, if not worse. You're complaining about him not having empathy. You don't have empathy either. Very prejudicial. And you've been on the receiving end of that some level, probably for a long time. So you have been brainwashed to think that you're defective.